You know, I never thought on Earth there would be a game out there that would make me want to be a superhero as much as this one does. And if you don't believe me, check this out. Guys, it's time. It's time for us to break down and talk about another video game. Which one are we talking about? We are talking about the newest Marvel superhero game to come out for the PS4, and that is Spider-Man. Now, just a heads up for those of you who are new to my video game reviews, I don't generally talk about the gameplay that much, although it is an important aspect of the game. I generally like to focus on the story, and the story within Spider-Man, it is fantastic. In fact, I would say it's so fantastic because my favorite parts of this game were not to deal with the Spider-Man character himself. My favorite parts of this game were to deal with Peter Parker.
With Fisk behind bars, what's next?
And the city's safer than ever. Maybe Peter Parker can have more of a life.
Peter Parker, he's out of high school, he's not in college, he's working with Dr. Octavius to try to better the world. And it's not only him trying to better the world, it's also him trying to keep a good relationship with Aunt May. It's also him trying to return and try to keep the chemistry going between him and Mary Jane because they're not together anymore. And all of these little aspects, they actually come together to create a game that is quite marvelous. And I'm not just talking about the character designs or the graphics or anything, even though those are all top notch. The elements and the emotion, the deep emotion that is applied to Peter Parker here as a character is great. He feels like not just a relatable character, he feels like a character that you just pity, that you just feel bad for, that you want everything to be okay. But he's Spider-Man, so we know that not everything is going to be.
What is this? Devil's breath.
Your city and everything you care about will be destroyed. The people will beg you for help, but you won't be able to save them.
Now, I know for a fact, as much as I can talk about Peter Parker as a character and all of this good stuff that I love, the fact of the matter is, you guys want to hear about the gameplay, you guys want to hear about what it's like to be Spider-Man.
This city's had enough of your vigilantism. You're officially an enemy of the people.
This is some of the most fun gameplay I have had in a long time. Now, there are certain elements that people were worried about that I was going to rip off the Batman Arkham games, and there are some elements that are familiar for sure. There are a lot of elements in the gameplay when it comes to the slow-mo, when it comes to Spidey sense, even though that was Spidey's idea before Batman, and when it comes to certain sequences within the game. There's one particular sequence that reminds me of the Nightmare sequence that Batman had with Scarecrow in Arkham Asylum. I'm not going to go into details, but it was there. And so yeah, those elements are in there. So it's really up to you whether you're going to let that bother you or not. For me personally, it never really got on my nerves. What did get on my nerves is the loading screens. There is just way too many loading screens in this game. They got on my nerves after a while and just... Wait, look, when you're playing a game, you want to get into the gameplay. You don't want to be waiting around for stuff to be loading up. And so that annoyed me. And guys, that's pretty much all I have to say about Spider-Man. This game it's phenomenal from top to bottom. It is one of the best games of the year. Currently, right now, it probably is the best game of the year. I can't speak for anything else because I haven't really played a lot of the other games that have come out this year. In fact, I don't think I've played any. But I will say that if you own a PS4, this is certainly a game that you need to pick up. It's not a title that you pick up a PS4 for, but it is a great game. And at the end of all of this, guys, I thoroughly love Spider-Man. There's a lot more to do, and I can't wait to go back and play it. And I'm going to give Spider-Man for the PS4 an A-. Guys, if you really enjoyed this video, then I highly recommend you checking out not only the reviews that I do on this channel, which are up there at the top of the screen, but also check out the Sweet Film Podcast that me and my buddy do, Mr. Zach Pope, right over there. We dive deep, not only talking slightly about video games, but primarily movies and just catching up with one another. But guys, I want to catch your thoughts on Spider-Man. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you indifferent to it? Whatever your thoughts may be, put them down in the comment section below. Let's get that conversation started, and let's see what you think about Spider-Man. And to leave off this video, guys, hit it!
Whew. Anyone else need a breather?